السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا بكم اليوم في المحاضرة الرابعة من مادة محادثة 2 with me teacher Ahmed Sudan. Let's get started. The objectives of this lecture, by the end of this lesson you will be able to check if you have understood information correctly, make suggestions, and understand description of food and meals. Okay, so Neil and Rachel have just got home from work and are talking about what to have for dinner. So they will discuss what they're gonna have for dinner. Okay, listen to their conversation, tick the food they talk about, and circle the kind of restaurants they decide to go. يعني دير صح على الطعام اللي بيتكلموا عليه، ودير دائرة عليه المطعم اللي بيقرروا انهم بيمشوا له. Let's listen.
So, shall we go out for dinner?
Yeah.
I don't feel like cooking. What about you?
I'm tired. I don't want to cook either.
No, exactly. So, what kind of food do you want?
Indian?
Okay, yeah, well, that's what we had last time, so it'd be nice to have something different this time, wouldn't it? What about having Thai food?
Oh, I'm getting a bit bored with Thai.
Are you? Okay.
I've got an idea. There's this new Cambodian restaurant on Queen Street.
Cambodian? Oh, yeah. It's just opened, hasn't it?
Yeah, the new one. Oh, what's it called? That's right, the Khmer Cafe.
Well, I've never tried Cambodian food.
Apparently it's very similar to Vietnamese and Thai, but the flavours aren't quite as strong.
Okay.
Well, that's what they say. And it has very little meat. Meat is more often used as flavouring.
Okay, so there are a lot of vegetables.
A lot of vegetables.
Well, I suppose we could try that for a change. Why not? And you said it was on Queen Street?
That's right. It's a new place and it's supposed to be very reasonable.
Do you know anyone who's been there?
There was a review in the paper which was positive. Said it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't too expensive. And... what else did they say? Good food and nice and clean. Nice atmosphere.
Okay, let's try that then.
So as we see, they talked about Thai food. Thai food كلمة تاي جاية من تايلاند اللي هي الجنسية لكلمة تايلاند، يعني الطعام التايلندي أو المطاعم التايلندية. They did talk about Indian food and they talked about also Vietnamese food, but they didn't mention Chinese, they didn't mention Japanese, and they decided to go to a Cambodian food. يعني Cambodian اللي هو يرجع للدولة كمبوديا اللي هي دولة في جنوب شرق آسيا. طبعا هذا كل طعام آسيوي، يعني فيتنام، إنديا، تايلاند، هذا كل دول آسيوية. إذن they decide to go to a Cambodian restaurant. Okay. Okay, now listen again and answer these questions. Okay, answer these questions. As كالعادة ديما نقرأ الأسئلة قبل الاستماع، ديما نقرأ الأسئلة قبل الاستماع باش نعرف عشان نركزوا في الاستماع. Now listen again and answer these questions. Why do Rachel and Neil want to go out? ليش هما يبوا ياكلوا برا، يعني يمشوا يطلعوا برا؟ They are tired to cook dinner. يعني هما they are too tired to cook dinner. يعني هما متعبين جدا يبدو من العمل باش ان هما يديروا العشاء، ف they decided to go out. السؤال الثاني, why don't they want to go to a Thai restaurant? يعني ليش هم ما يبوش يمشوا لمطعم تايلاندي. Okay, and where is the new Cambodian restaurant? where is the new Cambodian restaurant يعني وين كان هذا المطعم الكمبودي and does Cambodian food have a stronger flavor than Thai food يعني هل الطعام الكمبودي عنده نكهة أقوى stronger flavor يعني نكهة than Thai food أكثر من الطعام التايلاندي يعني هل هو النكهة متاعه أقوى من الطعام التايلاندي and how expensive is the Cambodian restaurant وما مدى غلاء الطعام ما مدى غلاء المطعم الكمبودي خلونا نسمع مرة تانية ونجاوبوا عن الأسئلة.
So, shall we go out for dinner?
Yeah.
I don't feel like cooking. What about you?
I'm tired. I don't want to cook either.
No, exactly. So, what kind of food do you want?
Indian?
Okay, yeah, well, that's what we had last time, so it'd be nice to have something different this time, wouldn't it? What about having Thai food?
Oh, I'm getting a bit bored with Thai.
Are you? Okay.
I've got an idea. There's this new Cambodian restaurant on Queen Street.
Cambodian? Oh, yeah. It's just opened, hasn't it?
Yeah, the new one. Oh, what's it called? That's right, the Khmer Cafe.
Well, I've never tried Cambodian food.
Apparently it's very similar to Vietnamese and Thai, but the flavours aren't quite as strong.
Okay.
Well, that's what they say. And it has very little meat. Meat is more often used as flavouring.
Okay, so there are a lot of vegetables.
A lot of vegetables.
Well, I suppose we could try that for a change. Why not? And you said it was on Queen Street?
That's right. It's a new place and it's supposed to be very reasonable.
Do you know anyone who's been there?
There was a review in the paper which was positive. Said it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't too expensive. And... what else did they say? Good food and nice and clean. Nice atmosphere.
Okay, let's try that then.
Okay, as we heard now, the first question, they don't want to go to a Thai restaurant. مش حيمشوا لمطعم تايلاندي. ليش؟ لأن ريتشل says she is getting bored with Thai food. يعني هي ملت أو قلقت من الطعام التايلاندي فتبي تجرب حاجة جديدة. The second طبعا الترتيب كان كالتالي هو جاء إجابة السؤال هذا قبل السؤال هذا فأنا رد بالي مرة تانية في الاستماع يعني مش بالضرورة يكون نفس ترتيب الأسئلة. إجابة السؤال هذا كان Does Cambodian food have a stronger flavor than Thai food؟ طبعا هنا هم قالوا إنه هو Cambodian food is similar to Thai food but it's not as strong. يعني هو ماهوش هو زيه في المكونات ممكن لكن أقل منه في الفليفر في النكهة متاعه. Okay no إجابة هذا no it's not as strong as Thai food يعني هو ليس يعني ماهوش أقوى من التاي فود بالعكس أقل منه في الحدة. بعدين where is the new Cambodian restaurant? It's on Queen Street في شارع the Queen. Okay and how expensive is the Cambodian restaurant؟ يعني هل ما مدى غلاء هذا المطعم؟ It's reasonable يعني معقول ماهوش غالي وماهوش رخيص. It's not cheap يعني ماهوش رخيص but not too expensive لكن يعني ماهوش غالي هلبا. Okay خلونا نمشوا. Let's go to the next slide now. Speaking strategy, making suggestions. يعني كيف تكون أو كيف تقترح على شخص إنه تدير شيء معين. So shall we go out for dinner? هلا ذهبنا للعشاء في الخارج. Shall we go out for dinner؟ هنا shall we هذه نستعملها هلبا في عملية تكوين الاقتراحات. هلا ذهبنا هلا أكلنا هلا مثلا مشينا لمكان معين فنقوله shall we go out for dinner, shall we play football, shall we watch TV. فهنا هذه إحدى الطرق لتكوين الاقتراحات. what about Thai food what about having Thai food. طبعا حتى هي what about يعني لو انت مع شخص تتناقشوا شو بتديروا تخططوا لشيء معين فهو يقترح عليك وانت ترد عليه باقتراح تاني هنا في العادة بتقولها what about يعني انت مثلا هو اقترح حاجة وانت ما عجبتكش بعدين انت تبي تقترح حاجة تانية فتقولها what about what about having Thai food. we could try that for change يعني احنا نقدروا لما قالها نديروا Thai food قالت لها لا Thai food I got bored with it. قالها بعدين how about Cambodian restaurant رد عليها قالها we could try that for a change يعني احنا نقدروا it's okay يعني احنا نجربه كتغيير okay we could try that for a change. I've got an idea أنا عندي فكرة I've got an idea اللي هي اختصار I have got an idea. هذه أيضا إحدى الوسائل لتقديم الاقتراحات. Let's try that then خلينا نجرب الشيء هذا إذا okay. هذين أكل يعني طرق نقدر نستعملوهن باش نكونوا اقتراحات. طبعا خلينا نشوفوا بالنسبة للأفعال. طبعا shall we ديما الفعل يجي بعدها في infinitive مش مع to يعني فأقول shall we go shall we play shall we watch مش ليس مثلا shall we going ولا shall we to go لا shall we go okay. what about تجي بعدها الفعل في ing. what about having Thai food what about watching football what about going to the cinema okay. so what about تجي بعدها شني الفعل في ing فعل في ing وبعدين عنا we could go for a restaurant we could go for a French restaurant okay. we could try Italian food. فالفعل بعد could ديما يكون في infinitive without to وبعدين عنا let's try. طبعا الفعل اللي يجي بعد let's ديما يكون في infinitive without to فأقولوا let's try let's play let's watch TV let's have coffee let's. فالفعل دي ما يجي في الانفينيتيف ما يجيش قبل to ما يجيش بعد ing ولا ed ولا whatever يعني. okay now sounding smart intonation of suggestions. يعني شنو هو الانتونيشن بتاع suggestion في العادة يكون هل هو falling يعني يكون عالي في البداية وبالتالي تنخفض نبرة الصوت ولا يكون منخفض في البداية وبعدين ترتفع. خلونا نشوف احنا listen to the three suggestions for each one tick ما ندير صح the pattern you hear. طب نسمعوا A و B و C sorry 1 و 2 و 3 اوكي. هل الأولى A يعني هي falling الانتونيشن بتاعها ولا rising. الثانية what about going out for dinner اللي بنسمعها هل هي falling ولا هل هي rising. والثالثة we could go out for dinner هل هي falling ولا rising. اوكي خلونا نسمعه.
Recording 30. 1. Shall we go out for dinner? 2. What about going out for dinner? 3. We could go out for dinner.
إذن as we heard الانتونيشن في الثلاثة خيرهن rising يعني يرتفع. shall we go out for dinner ففي النهاية يكون في ارتفاع في مستوى الصوت. what about going out for dinner well, we could go out for dinner. هذين كلها في لما you make a suggestion try to raise your intonation at the end so you show that it's like a suggestion it's a question okay. يعني انت تسأل في الشخص ايش نديره هل هو يرد ولا لا معناها هل يوافق او لا. فهنا الانتونيشن ديما يكون rising في making suggestions when you make suggestions. لكن it's very important يعني لما أنا when I make suggestions try not to stay at a flat intonation. فما نجيش يعني shall we go out for dinner، لا ما ينفعش، ضروري يكون في intonation، والintonation ضروري يكون rising. shall we go out for dinner؟ okay. فهنا it's very important بالنسبة للintonation، it's very important. okay. أيضا بالنسبة لل making suggestions there are some other ways to make suggestions. عندنا قلنا shall we واللي هي يجي بعدها الفعل في في الانفينيتيف without to، يعني shall we go out، shall we play، shall we watch TV. okay. وعندنا let's حتى هي let's زيها الفعل يجي في الانفينيتيف without to فنقولوا let's play، let's watch TV، let's drink some coffee. بعدين عندنا do you fancy يعني هل أنت تتخيل المعنى الحرفي للجملة، هل أنت تتخيل معناها نفسك إنك إحنا نديروا كذا وكذا، يعني بمعنى شنو رأيك نديروا كذا وكذا. فنقولوا do you fancy playing football or do you fancy going to Paris or whatever يعني. فالفانسي يعني do you fancy اللي هو الفعل بيجي في verb زائد ing. do you fancy playing football، do you fancy يعني أي خيار، فالفعل ضروري يكون في الverb زائد ing بعد do you fancy. بعدين عندنا السؤال why don't we علاش ما نديروش كذا، هذه صيغة الجملة. فنقولوا علاش ما نديروش شيء كذا، فنقولوا why don't we go out for dinner، ليش ما نطلعوش نتعشى برا. why don't we play football، ليش ما نلعبوش كورة. فحتى هذه تعتبر أحد الطرق باش إن we make suggestions. why don't we، طبعا why don't we الفعل يجي بعدها في infinitive without to، يعني الفعل بدون أي في الانفينيتيف في المصدر بدون to، ما يجيش مع to. why don't we play football، why don't we watch TV، why don't we go out for dinner. what about بكري قلنا عليها تكلمنا عليها اللي هو الفعل يجي بعدها في ing. فنقولوا what about having some coffee، or what about going out for dinner، what about watching TV. it would be nice to سيكون من الرائع أن نحن نديروا كذا وكذا. فنقولوا it would be nice to play football، it would be nice to go to the cinema، يعني سيكون من الرائع أن نحن نديروا كذا. فهنا it would be nice الفعل يجي في الانفينيتيف قبل to، فنقولوا it would be nice to watch TV، it would be nice to have some coffee، it would be nice to read a book or something. وبعدين we could always نستطيع أن نحن نديروا كذا. we could always play football، we could always watch TV، we could always go out for dinner. فهنا we could الفعل يجي بعدها في الانفينيتيف without to، هي without فهنا غلط. فنقول infinitive without to. we could always play football، we could always go out for dinner. فالفعل بعد بعد could يجي في الانفينيتيف without to، بدون to. okay. now speak up. use the words in bold، يعني استعمل الكلمات اللي في bold يعني بالخط العريض and the verb بالإضافة إلى الفعل to make a suggestion لتقدم اقتراح about dinner حول العشاء. French restaurant shall go. احنا قلنا شني أول حاجة تصبح shall we go to a French restaurant. shall we go to a French restaurant. okay. shall we go to a French restaurant for dinner. okay. لأنه هو قال لك make suggestion about dinner. shall we go out or shall we go to a French restaurant for dinner. تاني واحدة let's salad have. فنقوله salad let's have salad. Let's have salad for dinner. Let's have salad for dinner. Okay. اللي بعدها go about Chinese restaurant. فتصبح what ولا how about ولا what about. نقدر نقوله how about ولا what about شني going. فقلنا what about تجي بعدها الفعل في ing. What about going to a Chinese restaurant for dinner. What about going ولا how about زول صح. How about ولا what about going to a Chinese restaurant for dinner. واللي بعدها pizza could have. نقول we could have pizza for dinner. We could have pizza for dinner. طبعا could الفعل جاء بعدها في infinitive without to. وهذه الفعل جاء بعدها في ing. وهذه الفعل let's الفعل جاء بعدها في infinitive without to. الشل الفعل جاء بعدها في infinitive without to ما جاش قبل to يعني. اوكي فهنا let's go to a Turkish restaurant for dinner. Let's go to a Turkish restaurant for dinner. نقدر نكملها جملة. فهنا let's go to a Turkish restaurant. Sushi shall eat. شو بتصبح shall we eat sushi for dinner. Shall we eat sushi for dinner. اوكي بعدها اللي هي about هنا قلنا نقدر نقول how about ولا what about. وخير بعد الفعل لما يجي بعد about يصبح في ing. فنقوله what about ولا how about having roast chicken for dinner. How about having ولا what about having roast chicken for dinner. Okay. وبعدها Mexican restaurant could try. فتصبح we could try Mexican restaurant for dinner. We could try a Mexican restaurant for dinner. فزي ما قلنا الأفعال أهم شيء في تكوين الاقتراحات نعرفوا الفعل في أما صيغة بيجي بعد الكود في الانفينيتيف بدون to. بعد الاباوت في ing. بعد الشل يجي في الانفينيتيف without to. بعد let's في الانفينيتيف without to. بعد الكود في الانفينيتيف without to إلى آخره. Okay. Okay, now listening, talking about a meal. يعني كيف تتحدث عليه وجبة. طبعا كلمة meal معناها وجبة. Okay. Neil هذا الشخص اللي مبكر يشبه صورته tells you about his meal. يعني حيخبركم عليه الوجبة متاعه at the Camille Cafe في مطعم كامير. Listen and number the words in the box. استمع ورقم الكلمات اللي في الصندوق. Write one for the things he ate. طبعا الكلمات هذه ما هي بنديروا بحدها الأرقام يا إما 1 يا إما 2 يا إما X. لو هو الحاجة لها اكتب بحدها 1. Write one for the things he ate. For a starter لها كمقبل. طبعا starter يعني مقبلات اللي هي هذه المقبلات اللي قبل اللي كان. And 2 by the things he ate for a main course. ودير 2 بحد الحاجات اللي كلاها كوجبة رئيسية. Put a cross يعني X by the things he doesn't talk about. يعني دير X على الأشياء اللي هو ما يتكلمش عنها. طب احنا شو بنديرو؟ احنا الحاجة اللي نسمعوها نديرو بحدها 1 ولا 2. وبعد ما تكمل المحادثة أي حاجة مش مرقمة معناها هو ما تحدثش عليها فاحنا نديرو عليها X.
Recording 31.
I went to the Khmer Cafe for dinner last Friday night, and the food was great. For a starter, I had mushroom soup. It was very simple, but full of flavour. There was a taste of lime leaves and lemongrass together with mushrooms. Then for a main I had a chicken curry parcel. The Cambodian name is Amok Moan. At the restaurant they used cabbage leaves to wrap up the chicken, but in Cambodia they usually use banana leaves. This dish was full of flavours and was delicious. It's made with lemongrass, curry, ginger, as well as a little bit of fish sauce. This is all mixed together with coconut milk, and the chicken is cooked in this mixture, then wrapped in the cabbage leaves to make the parcels. The waitress told me that they then steam the parcels for about an hour, then serve with rice.
Recording.
So, okay, as we heard, here are the things he mentioned as a part of the starter and the things that he had as a part of the main course. So, yes, number one, mushroom soup and chicken curry parcel, that was the main course. But what about the rest? Chicken, curry, ginger, coriander, rice, noodles, egg, beef, tomatoes, coconut milk, lime leaves, fish sauce, and lemongrass and mushroom. Okay, as we heard, there are some things that weren't even mentioned. So as for chicken, it was a part of the main course. As lime leaves, it was a part of the starter. The curry was a part of the main course. The fish sauce was a part of the main course. Ginger also is within the main course. Lemongrass was a part of the starter. Coconut milk was a part of the main course, and the mushroom was a part of the starter. The rice, the main course, and the rest weren't mentioned. We didn't hear the word noodles, egg, beef, or tomatoes. إذن هذا نهاية الجزء الأول من المحاضرة الرابعة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.